Hi guys, if you are watching live, join into this conversation because we have to have these conversations in this day and age. We must have these kinds of conversations. We have an all-time low marriage rate, and people are blaming it on women. They're saying, oh, it's the woman's fault because it's so easy for men to have sex with a woman, and so we are not able to get marriages anymore because it's just easy for them. There's easy access. But my question is, in this kind of discussion where men tend to kind of shift the responsibility to women, my question is, when God created Adam and Adam is falling, the point where Adam is falling, God is coming and asking Adam, Adam, where are you? And Adam is hiding, and Adam starts to point his fingers. He starts pointing fingers and saying, it's Eve. She gave me the apple. I know I shouldn't have eaten from the forbidden tree. But God does not care about whether Eve made Adam do it, or she pleaded with him, or she persuaded him, or she had to beat him around. God is still disappointed with Adam all the same because he gave him dominion, and he should have known his power and his authority, and he abused it. So if you're joining in, join. Let me know what you think on the chat below. Let me know what your thoughts are about this issue. Our marriage is declining. Should we solely blame women? Are men responsible for this issue? I tend to think that everybody should be responsible. So let's have this discussion. Again, I'll probably start doing these discussions at around 4:20 every evening, and also in the morning, because I don't have a lot going on at the moment. So yeah, if you're watching live, just join live, and I would like to hear your input on this issue, because I saw a video last night, and it was this African American guy, and this older woman was asking him, why are men not proposing to women for marriage? And he got very passionate and a little bit angry, and I say he was a little bit disrespectful. And he was saying, it's because those women, you can get the A everywhere from all these women, that's why you cannot get married to any of these women. He was very, very angry. But I tend to think like, hey, why are you angry? You shouldn't be angry like this, because your character should not change ever just because of what is happening in the dating market. Your character should not change. You can't say, oh, I fell, or I did not get into marriage because other women were behaving like this and this and this. That's like typical Adam trying to point a finger on Eve. And I don't believe that pointing a finger at Eve changes the fact. If you choose to eat from the dumpster when you could go to the grocery store and pick up fresh produce, you can't blame the dumpster. Like, it's just the way things are. So again, like, this is a very, very, very important like discussion that we need to discuss. Like, is it men or is it women? Why are we having an all-time low marriage rate? Because a lot of people are saying, well, it's women because you can have S everywhere without having to worry about it. But then I think you can't keep blaming and pointing fingers. If you go looking for cheap things, you find cheap things in the market, and it depends on the quality you're looking for. So all these things, like, we need to discuss, and we need to be open. I think in society we have reached a point where we have to discuss these things very, very openly, and let the discussions take take the discussions to take the direction that they need to take. So let me share this link on Facebook. Posting the live link for people who want to join this discussion. You can discuss, you can join, you can let us know what you think. We're going to do this for the next 10 minutes. So if you're there to join this discussion. Let us know what you think. It's always good to know what other people think. I know a lot of men want to be like, oh, you're not married because, and I do agree that when you have an incentive, when you're getting something free, and his men are like, okay, why do I need commitment when I can get everything from a woman for free? And that discussion is valid. Like, if you're going to move in with him, if you're going to cook, do all these wifely duties uh the with being girlfriend material, obviously he has no incentive to do it. But we don't do it because of what we are getting. I don't think we do it because of what we are getting, whether it's a fair exchange. This is not capitalism. This is not like a market. We are talking about the family, the structure of the family. This is not something you put a dollar to, because the value of the family should not be put, like a dollar value should not be put into the value of the family. And I think that's where we are going wrong, because you're like, oh, like we have this utilitarian method of looking at families, which I think is very what can you say, there's depravity in it. So let me see here, when they say why marriage rates are at all times low. Why marriage rates are, so they say like opportunities in the marketplace have actually allowed women to become more independent, more financially, making marriages less of an economic necessity. I think that's true. That when, again, welcome Eli Hamilton. Hello, Eli. Yes, we are discussing this issue about why we have an all-time low marriage rate in society today. I see a lot of men saying, hey, if I can get the milk for free, why should I buy it? Why should I buy it? But then I go back to the story of the Bible, because marriage is ordained by God. And because God says, I need a man and a woman and I make them one. And my thing is, if Adam was telling God, Adam, God was asking Adam, Adam, where are you? Adam, why are you hiding? And Adam was trying to tell God, oh, it's Eve. She gave me the fruit. And God did not buy that argument. So a man can say that, hey, they gave me the milk for free, so I didn't think it was necessary to go ahead with the marriage as instructed by God. You can't just shirk your responsibilities like that. You can say, hey, I'm getting the milk for free. I don't need to buy it. But that's not the instruction that comes from God, especially when it comes to protecting the family and guarding the family. God says, a man and a woman shall come, and the two shall be one. So, where are we getting this notion that just because a man is getting the milk for free, that he doesn't need to commit to a woman in a holy matrimony? And do you guys agree with it? So you guys tell me, should we be going with the argument that, well, if he can get the milk for free, he shouldn't buy it? Or should we be going like, you still have to commit because this is an order from God? And we find ourselves in a situation where marriage marriage has become watered down. People don't even want to get married. I know modern people are saying, oh, because women went to work, they are more independent, they can make money, they should not get married. But also the Bible tells women to work. The Proverbs 31 woman has to go to work. She works. So work should not be also should not be like, oh, just because I don't depend on a man financially. I think that even if you don't depend on a man financially, as a woman, you're supposed to work. That's the Proverbs 31. Woman, you're supposed to work. That doesn't substitute, your income doesn't substitute marriage, because marriage is ordained by God. So, what do you guys think about this whole thing about men saying, if I can get the milk for free, I don't need to buy the cow? So, you tell me what you think. Put your comments below. I have this cool mug from the Wakanda movie that I got it and I still have it from all that time. From all that time. Um, a really cool mug. So, hello, Eli. You tell me what you think about this whole discussion. A couple of things. Uh huh. Yes, please contribute. Yes, on this position of, or this portion of free sex. What do you think about it? As we wait for Eli to keep typing what he thinks about this portion of free sex, which is, I understand when people say, like, men are getting, sex from everywhere and it's free, and they don't think that it's good to commit to a marriage, because he thinks, well, I'm getting, women have cheapened it, like they have made it free, like if you want it, you can get it. There is no doubt about that in this society that we are in today. Only somebody who is godly and disciplined. Eli, you're saying that financially is the forward to young people's minds. Culturally, you say you think that there is a worldly wisdom of the option of divorce, and our society has cheapened marriage, giving it an option out. I totally agree. A lot of people don't take marriage seriously. They actually think that, oh, because you're tired, or because your husband is not giving you, especially this one, I'll throw it on women, because we know that increasingly it's women who are asking for divorce, and they're doing it out of anger or bitterness, or just a point where they're immature, and then they realize, oh, I made a mistake. You should know by the time you get into marriage that marriage should not be separated by anything, not your mood, not because you're bored. Marriage, there is no divorce. Like a godly marriage, there should never be a divorce. The divorce word should never be happening. And I don't know whether we are instilling these kind of values. We've forgotten the values of society. We are cheapening the fabric of the society, which is a good, solid family that comes from a godly marriage. Marriages should not be break. You're supposed to work out your marital problems You can decide a separation knowing that you're going to work out your issues and then come together, but it should never ever be a place where that you're divorcing. It is wrong. It's actually wrong in the Bible. You're not supposed to do that. That's a rebellious act against God. That's what I believe. Yes, our society has cheapened marriage, giving it an option out. You should never have that option of divorce. And a lot of and I do agree that a lot of people don't want to hear this, but you should not divorce your husband. You're not allowed to do that. In the Bible, you're not allowed to do that. The only time the Bible says that you can divorce somebody is on the grounds of adultery. If he's not a good communicator, you're not supposed to divorce him. If he doesn't make money, you're not supposed to divorce him. If he gets sick, you're not supposed to divorce him. There are very few grounds of adultery. If he doesn't love you, you still can work on those issues. Go for therapy. Make sure that that marriage stands. People don't understand that. There is no option out. No. So what happens when you know that you're in a negative marriage, Eli? What if you know that, hey, I'm not happy in my marriage, I feel like I want out, but you know that you're not allowed to get a divorce because that's not the way of God? What do you advise people who feel like, oh my goodness, I don't know how I can stay in this marriage another day? But biblically, marriage is a good thing. So what happens when there are so many problems and you feel like, I want out? I want out, you know. I like what you're saying, Eli. You're saying feel. Feel is a trouble word. Feel is a trouble word. Feelings can change like the weather. Feelings can change like the weather. This is the truth. That's the truth there. And I also tend to think that when you're just going through your mood swings, that cannot, that should not allow. Yeah. Prayer should be the first line. Prayer should be the first line. Thanks, Eli. I really like this discussion. I really like your contribution. You're like, yes, from your experience, if the couple is God-centered, prayer should be the first answer. The first answer. And I imagine if a couple prays together, even if you're taking just a minute, you don't make it a long prayer. I know some people don't want to start praying because some couples like pray these long prayers. But if you just make it a habit of praying together, yes, I like this. I really do like your contribution, Eli. Yes, you're saying that for a non-God centric relationship where the two couples don't believe in God, there is no good solution. There is no good solution. And you can tell us why you think that there is no good solution. And then you go on and you tell us that worldly wisdom, especially now, says go with feel, go with how you feel. And this is true. This is very true. And the people don't want to agree that feelings are very, very deceptive. Feelings are very deceptive. So you feel bored right now and you want out. Or maybe you're watching whatever news that you're watching, like the Kardashians, and then you're thinking, oh, those single women seem to have a blast. They can drink, they can wear skimpy clothes, and you're like, I'm bored with my marriage. I want out. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. I get what you say. Feel is not a good thing. And also, if your marriage is not anchored in the Word of God, that's why I feel like, and then you hit the normal turbulence, because there's going to be turbulence in a marriage. Who is going to restore your marriage if both of you are godless? If both of you can go with your feelings, oh, I feel bored today of this marriage. Somebody you love, how are you going to train your mind to love this person even when you don't feel like it? What disciplines your mind and your heart if you don't believe in God over time? Over time. And I say that there is a slightly higher chance that I see that godly marriages last more than just worldly marriages, because they are anchored. They have that extra support from God, from the wisdom that comes from God, and other marriages don't come from. Yeah, so I would want to know, when you say there is no good solution, if the marriage is non-God centric, it just makes me wonder, like, the people who go to therapy without a God-centered anchor in their marriage, you know, how do you come down from pointing, he did this, he did this, he did this, into actually being like, as a woman, I'm supposed to submit and respect my husband. As a husband, I'm supposed to love my wife. All those things, where do you get that grounding and direction from to help your marriage when it hits the wall? What is your therapy going to tell you that's going to help you outside the wisdom of the Bible? I like this discussion. I'm going to be having discussions like this in the morning, around 8, and then in the afternoon at 4:20. You can remember 4:20 to join me live, because there are so many things that we can discuss about mental health. I do find that a lot of young men who have this attitude that I have the cow, I have the milk, I don't need to buy the cow, are also godless people. They are godless people because they don't understand that marriage is a command. If you're a grown up and you don't believe in marriage, it means you're an adulteress, because you think that it's okay to go around having sex with different people, different ages, different color, different races. You just think that it's okay. You're guiding yourself. And in life, I think there is that danger of, if you try to guide yourself, you're going to stray, because the human mind is very complex. You need to anchor it. You're going to stray. Surely with time, you're going to stray. And that is rebellion. That is rebellion from the very word of God that tries to ground you. And you can't say, oh, just because it's free everywhere, I don't need to commit to a relationship. Uh, because that shows your lack of character. It's your own lack of character inside. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it just shows like a lack of character from the inside. And I don't think that you can say, oh, just because the market is like this, I'm going to behave like this. You have to have your own agency about your behavior. Okay, and that's another thing that you're saying, Eli, that another thing is that people don't know how to date. That's a good thing. And actually, I would want to ask you this question. What do you think is the proper way to date? What do you think is the proper way to date? Just wanting to hear from you, because there's somebody else out there who doesn't know how to date. What is the proper way to date? Again, if you're new, just say hi. Just say hi when you're new. Just joining the chat. We're going to be having this chat in the morning. I started this chat like 24 minutes at 8 a.m. So I should be trying to do this at 8 a.m. and then at 4:20 we'll have a lot of discussion. This is Heal Your Energy. This is a Heal Your Energy channel, because a lot of things that people don't know, that love is a healing energy. Love is a healing energy. So if you're out there not wanting to commit passionately to one person, you're not going to heal your energy. A lot of people coming from broken families actually don't know how to date and get into relationships. So Eli, if you can give us that contribution about how the proper way, are there steps? Do you start by vetting somebody and then then after you feel like, okay, I've vetted you, maybe you're a Christian, you seem like you're a responsible person, you're respectful, and then you move into the dating stage, and then what's happening there in the dating stage, and then at what point do you know, is this person in debt? you know at what point do you want to know about the other person's previous relationships? At what point do you decide, okay, this is the right person for me? As a man, because men have to make the call about whether you're going to commit to this person in a relationship, but at what point do you also let them go? Be honest with them, telling them like, hey, I got to know you, I think you're a wonderful person, but I don't think we are a good fit. I think we should move on. For me, I think like some of the things that you should even know on the third date, that this person, I'm not going to continue in a relationship with them, and I should let them go. So yeah, the proper way of dating, and I think that should be like another video on its own about dating and relationships. Yes, it's true, a lot of people don't know how to date. And I can tell you one example that I found, like in my family. My sisters, I have three older sisters, I'm the fourth one, and we are not married, but I can tell you, because we come from a very broken family. I was orphaned by the age of 6, and I went into a children's home, and in that children's home, it was an institution. Think about a jail, like a jail system. So in a jail system, they're not telling you about societal values. They're not telling you, oh, this is the dating process. When you hit 21, this is what you should be thinking about marriage, or this is what you should be doing, planning your life. They don't tell you that, because it's an institution. It's more like, follow these rules and you're done. If you don't do it, you get punished. So you get that some people lose, because of a broken family, they lose that wisdom of dating and how to go about marriages and how to strengthen them. And if you don't have like channels like this, some people obviously have no hope. They have no hope. They don't know actually how to do it, because they probably come from a very broken down family system. I lost connection in that institution with my relatives. So, and these things, if you're not taught from a very young age in a family, you don't have the model of a family that you need to emulate. Yes, yes. This is another good one. Clubs and bars are not great atmosphere for seeking a spouse. Online dating also doesn't give the opportunity to get to know someone, because one can order up what they feel they want. See, the secular world that we live in, the worldly world, I think, yeah, it becomes a very big problem. I especially, for me, don't like going to bars and clubs. The thing is, the music that is played in bars and clubs is conditioning your subconscious. For me, that's what I think. And if you even listen to people like, say, Beyonce's music, they are glorifying a one night stand, you know, like things that are like not going to help you in your marital life, in your marriage life. This is the kind of music that we are playing for kids. Let's say if kids start partying at either 18, in Kenya they start at 18 and 21, and this is the music that we are playing for them, indoctrinating them while they are drinking, at the time where they should be actually be thinking seriously about the kind of partner that they should be having. So by the time that they're 30, they can do it, they can have a good relationship. So we find that clubs and bars are truly not the great place. And let's not hide the fact that a lot of women get assaulted in this kind of setting. And still, I see women going to these things. I wouldn't say that a woman should go, but if she has a spouse, somebody who they're engaged with, and they decide to go there, but she has the protection of her spouse and she's going to those places, I think that's fine. But I still think it's dangerous thing, even the way girls go in clubs like this. I personally don't think it's safe. I don't think it's safe at all, at all, at all. So yeah, so clubs are out. Clubs are out. Online dating, that's true. A lot of people think that they have a lot of options, but I think online dating is where you just swipe, 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 swipe. But you think you have options, but you don't. You know, a lot of people there are probably not even compatible. You know, yeah, I haven't had that experience where people just order up someone. Like, how is that? Like, you order, like, online dating? I think it's still very hard to find online dating, like to order somebody. I actually, this is funny because I have, my background is recruiting, being a recruiter, and so I was applying for new jobs, for recruitment, and this company called me, and they call themselves selective matchmaking. And so I live in Orange County, but they were telling me they do have a client up in LA. She is looking for a husband in my area, and they're looking for somebody who can go scout for a good husband. They're paying like maybe $30 an hour, but they're paying for like 10 hours a week. And they're like, oh, you can go look for a man for this woman, because some people don't want to go into apps, because sometimes they are public figures and they don't want to be seen on the dating app, or you know, they just don't want to go there because of the whole thing of the swiping. It's just not connecting, like they are not connecting. But anyway, and people have different ways of looking. You know, she was looking for somebody who is Republican, somebody who takes care of themselves. You know, I think somebody who is conservative and taking care of themselves, all that. And they go to this selective matchmaking where, like, you can tell somebody, I'm looking for this kind of a person. They need to take care of themselves. They need to be a certain age. They are like that, like this kind of a person. But I think also it's kind of like that kind of thing, like ordering somebody. Because if you're like, oh, let's say somebody who is, let's say a woman, she's 69, she's overweight, and she's saying, I want a younger man, and I want him younger than I am, and I want him fit, and he has to be 6'7". It's just that whole thing of ordering, or thinking that you can order somebody. Well, I want these qualifications, bring him right here. You know, even not accounting for the fact that most men are on average 5'9". You know, they're not like 6'7". you, you know what I mean? Now I get what you mean, like order up. Oh, yeah, I'm swiping. Oh, he is not 6'5", out. He doesn't have blonde hair out, because I hear like a lot of people, a lot of men are looking. I don't know how true this is, but I'm hearing that in the dating market, a lot of men are looking for Asian women, and a lot of women are looking for white men. So I don't know how true this is, but yeah. So if you're going to start looking, oh, she's not skinny, she's not exactly 5'3", and she's not 100 pounds, like these whole ordering things, you might miss out on a great partner. Yes, yes, I totally agree. Yeah, core values being the foundation of a good relationship. And it's true, you do attract who you are. So if you're this shallow person, you're probably never going to meet somebody that is good for you, because you're shallow, you have no foundation, you don't have any great values that make up a relationship. So I find that a lot of people who have great relationships, they are not like me centered. They're not like, I need this person who is like six, blonde hair, whatever, whatever. They don't have a checklist. They are more thinking about, what can I do for this other person? What can I give? They're more thinking about the other persons. People who are other focused have more values than people who are me centered. Like, you're thinking about the other person. What do I need? Am I nurturing towards them? Am I tender towards them? Do I make them happy when they feel like they're down? Do I encourage them? Do I help them out when they're tired? Do I step in as a friend, as a spouse? They are more other focused. They are in the relationship to give. And I think that's when relationships become beautiful, because you have those godly values of giving. Give. The Bible says, give and it will come back to you. Give, 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 and it will come back to you. So yes, I do like that. Core values are the foundation of a great relationship. Core values. So ask yourself, what's your character? Who are you? And this is, when you want to heal your energy, you have to heal your character. From your selfish ways, you have to metamorphose into the higher version of you. One of the things that I learned when I was developing in my spiritual journey, it was like, there is this person you are by default, like somebody who just doesn't think about much about life. And then there's the person you desire to become. That is your 2.0 version. You desire to be somebody who is kind, passionate, because it will take you effort to become that person. It will take you effort to become that person when the world is pushing against you to be something different. And it's like, if you decide to be a polite person and somebody comes in and they are rude to you, you don't break your character because those are your values, that you decide, I am like this person. In a relationship, if you decide, hey, I'm not going to be judgmental towards my partner, that means that the value that you're going to cultivate. And the thing is, if you are that generous with people, you're not judgmental, you'll find that they're not judgmental towards you either, because when you give, it comes back. It always comes back. So dating with values, leading with values rather than a checklist. I think Eli, probably that's what you mean. Dating with values, leading with values, and not a checklist. And I think that changes even the dynamics about where you're going to go date. I was talking to my friend and he was saying, I advised my daughter to go volunteer in the church, to take care of babies in the church, to change diapers in the church. And you never know, he was like, she might meet somebody who is also family oriented, because you're in the same setting helping out. You could even volunteer at the kids sports game at school. Maybe you could meet mothers there who know of a relative, and they think, oh, this woman has good qualities. And even men, like volunteering to be like an assistant to the sports coach in your nephew's school, or your little brother. Those kinds of places you can find that you get to make connections with different people. They can invite you to parties, they can even invite you to weddings. You can meet other people like in these good settings, because now you're dating with your values, thinking about values more than going on the internet and having your checklist and demanding that other people become what you want them to become. So anyway, Eli, I would just want to ask you, is there something that you want to add to this discussion? I think we've had a wonderful discussion. I was even thinking that it will just last like 15 minutes, but now I see that it has lasted like 40 minutes. And I personally think it was a great discussion. I think we can close this live stream. But yeah, I will give you the final word if you have something to say, the final word. And I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining and engaging in this chat and connecting. Again, my name is Monica Kanini, and this is Heal Your Energy. And I believe that, the more we talk about these issues in our society, the more we heal ourselves. And again, when we heal, we change the world, so we heal the society. So I'm sure this live stream, somebody will find it someday, and they'll find it very, very helpful. So thank you so much for joining in and for all the great contribution that you have had on this live stream. I appreciate it. So I'm going to wait, see if you have any final words, and then we are going to close the chat. So this is the final word from Eli. He says, mutual friends is one of the best ways to meet someone. You can have some common place with to start a real relationship. That is true. When you know a friend of a friend, when your friend introduces you to somebody, they already know you, and they probably know the other friend better, and then they think, oh, these two qualities are good. And if you're going to introduce somebody, don't go like, get to know them, who they are at the core. Don't introduce somebody just because, oh, because of superficial things. like look at who they are and then introduce them. So mutual friends is one good. Yes. And yes, and I totally agree. This was a great conversation to listen to. And again, I want to thank you so much, Eli, for joining me this morning. And for my viewers, everyone watching this after the live stream, I want to thank you. Please add your comments and let us know what you think about relationships these days, why people are not getting married, and let us have this contribution shared at any platform. And again, I want to thank you very, very much. And may God bless you, and may you have a wonderful weekend.